Hello everybody, I'm Shylor, welcome back, and tonight we're going to be doing HTML tutorial number 2. And with that, we're going to be learning a few more tags. I also had a question about the formatting of the page. Some of you guys might be aware of like the HTML tag, the head tag, and stuff like that. We will get into that in the next section when we actually start building a full page. But tonight we're just messing around with a few more tags to get used to them, see what they do. But tomorrow we'll actually start structuring out a full page. Well, tomorrow or on video 3. So the idea here is just to play with some tags, see what they do, and that way as we enter into a full page layout, we kind of are aware of what we're doing. So let's look at a few more tags. Now we've already learned about the paragraph tag, so I'm just going to do a paragraph real quick. Let's do that lowercase. Okay, so we have 2 sentences here. System's not updating for me. And one of the things that I want to show you with the next tag is something called the break tag. Now, in the last video I did mention that there are some tags that are single tags, which means they don't have closing tags. So what this means is that it's pretty much just an opening tag. And so what I want to do is I'm actually going to show you the break tag. So here in this sentence you can see that we have this sentence and this sentence on the same line. In a paragraph, I really can't change that unless the screen size goes so low that it actually well, in this case I can't even make it go that low. But I can't change that if the screen size isn't working for me. So what I want to do is actually make this part of the sentence, or this part of the paragraph, break down to the next line. So to do this, I'm going to use a break tag. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get rid of this space. If I save it, you can see that it has no space there. But what I'm going to do after the period, I'm going to open a BR tag. Now, like I said, it's a single tag, so you don't have to close it. Like, you don't have to do this. This part of the tag here is useless. It doesn't do anything, and it's not even proper, so you don't want to do this at all. So it's just a single tag like this. Now sometimes you may see it written like this, and this is for something called XML. So it would be not XML, but XHTML. XHTML is older than HTML5, which is what is current standard. HTML5 is what people are using. XML was pretty much it was a strict form of HTML. It means you had to do things certain ways in order to be valid with HTML or with XHTML. So that's used to be how it was. Now nobody should be doing that. The reason is that it's an extra character that really isn't needed. So as you can see, once I saved that, our line broke to the next line. So we have the first sentence, and then it breaks to the next line. If we look at the source code, like I said, don't worry about line 2, but if you look at the source code, you can also see that break tag in there just like we have it. So that's one way to break to the next line. Now you can insert these wherever you want. So if I wanted to, I could also insert it here, save it, and you can see that it breaks. So basically it will break to the next line wherever you put this. The other thing people use it for sometimes is they will put multiple breaks. So I guess we'll just do 2, and you can see now there's a space between it. If you do another one, you can have more spaces. I still use this approach sometimes, but once you get into CSS, it's normally better to do it with CSS. But occasionally you will see in my code that I'll do a few BRs. If you're trying to center your text vertically on the page, sometimes you might see somebody do this. And I've done this before on old sites, or sites I'm not really worried about, and you can see that it looks more centered on the page, but then you view the source and you have a whole bunch of BR tags there. So it's kind of cheating to do this, but in your case you're not aware of the other way, so that's pretty much the only option you have. Once we get into CSS, you'll see some other options. So that is the break tag. The other one we can do is, let's say we have 2 of these paragraphs, and we save it. So we have 2 paragraphs. As you can see, the paragraph breaks as well to the next line, and there's also some spacing in here. That's kind of the default way the paragraph tag works. So this is 2 different paragraph tags pretty much. So if you do wrap your code with paragraph tags, it will break to the next line. I guess really quick I'll show you what I mean by that. If we get rid of all our paragraph tags and we save it, you see that it will be all in one line. Now the other option you could do is you could put a break tag here, and now you have it on 2 lines. But the best option, the best option is to use your paragraph tags. This will come in handy when you're doing CSS, as it will give you a little bit more power in what you're working on. Now, the next tag I'm going to show you is the HR tag. This is also a single tag. So if we do HR like this, you can put a horizontal line, is what it stands for. Horizontal rule is what it means. And that just puts a line through it. I honestly don't use this tag that often. Trying to think the last time I used it. Sometimes just for decoration, but normally I don't use it. But if you're, if you have, you might do something like, instead of doing a paragraph up here, you might do like H1. This is my site. And as you probably remember, H1 is a header tag. Oh, okay, so this actually leads into something interesting. And we'll see if you can figure it out real quick. But as you can see, we have, this is my site, and then we have the HR, and then we have the paragraph. Now you're probably wondering, why did the paragraph just go majorly large? Well, it's because I did not close my tag correctly. So as you see here, I have an opening tag, and then I have an opening tag. And so the rest of my site is just one gigantic HR. So, or H1, sorry, not HR. So if I do a slash here, save it, you'll see it goes back to normal. So it's very important that you close your tags and you close them correctly. It will also happen, the same thing can also happen if I forget to put the closing BR tag on there, or H1 tag on there. That same effect can happen. So make sure you're closing your tags properly. This can happen, say for instance, if I'm trying to make something, well, I'll show you that in a minute, because it's actually a tag I'll be messing with. So the next tag I'll show you is strong. Strong means that basically when a search engine comes to your site and it sees a strong tag, you're telling the search engine that this is important to the context of my page. So if, for instance, I want to make paragraph and simple, if I want to say that they have strong meaning on my page, I can wrap the strong tag around it. And this is kind of like the bold tag, if you heard of the bold tag, which I just did the bold tag. It's actually just B, but bold tag's really not used that much anymore. So if I just wrap strong around these, you'll see that they're a little bit bolded. This is just kind of the default style of HTML to bold these, but it actually means that when the robots come through and they read your page, they'll say, well, paragraph must mean something important because they're bolding it, or because there's strong tags around it. So anyways, that's how you can use strong tags. Those are pretty simple tags to use. As you can see, they're inside of the P tag. So the next tag I'm going to show you is the image tag. Image tag is also a single tag. So most all the tags we learned tonight, the BR, HR, are single tags. I guess you just learned strong, so that's not a single tag. The image tag is also a single tag. So this is the image tag. As you can see, it's very exciting when you use it. It really doesn't do anything. This is another tag that requires attributes, kind of like the anchor tag. So this tag by itself does nothing. What we can do is we can actually give it some attributes. So remember, the attributes always are in the start or in the opening tag. So you always put attributes in the opening tag, and they look like, name equals value is what their format is, and they'll always be in these double quotes. So the value will always be in the double quotes, and so you have name equals value. So Like I said, we're going to go right between this greater than sign and this G, and we're going to put a space, and then I'm going to use the source, which is src. Like I said, you might not memorize it right now. You can always come back to these videos or look it up online. But over time, as you use the image tag a lot, this will just come naturally to you. You won't even think about it. You'll just instantly type in source. Source and href will get confusing to you because they're kind of the same format, but they do two different things. So the anchor's href will get confusing. Sometimes you'll try to do the source in an anchor or href in an image. They don't work. So the source allows me to link to an image. Now, as you can see here, I already have an image called html5.png, and in this folder, so what I need to do is I literally just need to type the name of the file, html5.png, and if I save it, you'll see it instantly pops up the image. And this is how image tags work. They use the source to to show the image. Now, let's go ahead and look at a few more attributes on this tag. So another attribute is called the alt tag. The alt tag is used for screen readers mainly. Sorry, my throat's kind of getting caught up here. So the alt tag is used for screen readers or when images are broken. So we could sit there and say HTML5 logo like this. Now when you save it, you really don't see anything happen. But if, let's say we made a mistake on the image, so we call it HTML6, and we save it, you'll see that it then puts the alt tag inside of this error that says that the image can't be found. The other thing is, like I said, when screen readers go through, so like when somebody that's blind is using your website, the screen reader will read what is in the alt text. So that can be useful. It's also good for search engines because the search engine has no clue what this says for the most part. And so like Google, when it's reading through your page, it will also read HTML5 logo and be like, that must be an HTML5 logo. So it's good for search engines too. You can actually get penalized in search ranking if you don't have these. So it's a good idea to get used to it. The other interesting one you can do, title. It's kind of like the alt tag. It seems similar. And I believe screen readers will read either or. I think they pretty much go to the alt tag, but if there's no alt tag, it'll use the title tag. Title tag's not really that important. HTML5. So if I save this, and then I go hover over the image and I stop, after a second or so, you'll see the little HTML5 plate pop up, this little plate here. Honestly, that's pretty much what it does. It like I said, it can be a backwards compatible thing for screen readers and for search engines and stuff like that, but honestly all it does is, I mean, you could put in some more context, such as this is the HTML5 logo, and then, you know, I mean, you could put more context if there's an image here and it has a person with their dog, like walking their dog, you could say a person walking their dog. And then when somebody hovers over it, they'll see that it says a person walking their dog. But those are some attributes you can use. Like I said, another important thing we talked about last time, attribute location does not matter. So if I put the alt tag first before the source tag, oops, what did I just do? So if I put that like that, well, in this case I have two alt tags, which could be dangerous. I'm actually not sure how the browser would deal with that. It would actually, in the source, it would show both of them, but I'm not sure if there was like two titles, which one would work. So we might play around with that real quick. But as you can see, it doesn't really matter which order these attributes are in, as long as you have, like, as you can see, there's a space between them. So there's a space after the tag name, and then you just have the name equals the value in quotes, and these are double quotes, and then you just have that same pattern, and then at the end you don't necessarily need another space. You could just, you know, end your greater than sign. So this is the image tag, and it's pretty simple to use. The last tag I'm going to look at tonight is well, actually I have two more things I want to show you. The last set I'm going to look at is a set of different tags, and this is going to be kind of advanced. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through this really quick and just kind of show you the tags. I'm not going to explain it in depth as much, but what we're going to look at is tables, which is used for table-based data. So if you're displaying some kind of pricing or something like that, you can use tables. Don't use it for layouts. Use CSS for layouts. I'll show you that later, but yeah, tables should not be used for laying your site out. So I'm going to do really quick a table, and we'll go through things really quick. So table has multiple tags to it. And also pay attention to how I'm opening and closing things. So as you can see, I'm like opening and then closing tags. And then we'll do th. So as you can see, here's where you start getting a lot of tags. And like I said, I'll explain them a little bit. We're already at 16 minutes, so I don't want to go too much longer. Maybe you can try guessing at these as I'm typing them out really quick. Oops. Yeah. There we go, and then I will copy this section and say blue and $10. So if I refresh, you'll instantly see that we now have this little table thing going on here. This is pretty much a table. Now right now you can't really see much because pretty much you just see name and price, which makes sense on some of this. So in order to make this a little bit easier for you to read, I'm actually going to put, if I remember, is it border 1? And now you can see that we have some borders here. I'm also going to do, trying to remember what it is. I have not used tables like this in a long time, so I'd have to look up some of it. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna have to cheat and use the search here because I don't remember what the attribute is, and I think I already passed it, which is weird. Actually, it doesn't look like it exists in here. Okay, so I am missing something and I can't remember what the heck it is. There used to be cell padding and cell... Is it spacing? Spacing equals 1... Oh wait, equals 20. Ah, well that's not the one. I want cell padding. Now, I don't know why it didn't suggest that. That's probably because it's not, you're not really supposed to use that anymore. You should be using CSS to do this, but I just wanted to kind of expand it out for you to read. So as you can see, now we have our border around it and stuff like that. So let's run through the tag really quick. So this is a table tag. As you can see, this is all the table tag here. So we open the table tag, we close it down here. This stands for table header, so this is the table header tag, and this creates this upper part here. And then inside that we have the table row, so TR is table row, so that makes a row. And then each one of these are table, I think this is table header. I'm not sure exactly the name of it, but this is what makes this text up here, and you can tell that this is, remember that this is kind of bold here. So the T head, or the table header blocks here will make the text bold. It is good for CSS because you can style it differently. So table row, and then the body of the context is down here at the bottom. So this is the body here, and you can see that we use TR. So we use the table rows again. So each one of these are a row right here. So this is a row, and then this is a row down here. And then this stands for table data, and then we put as many table datas as we want. So if I wanted to, I could actually create another one of these here, and then I could just leave this blank if I wanted to, and you'll see that it kind of causes some problems. So if we do that, then on each one of these, we'd also want to come in here and create a blank one of these, or we could put a number in here, or whatever we wanted. So we'll just go ahead and put numbers here. And as you can see, it then fixes the order properly. Now there's some really cool things you can do. If I wanted to, I could actually take this and do this as, there's some attributes you can mess around with. Column span allows you to span multiple columns. So here you can see this is one column, two columns. So if I do this, now you can see that it expands over two of these columns. So that's some stuff you can do. As we get into projects and stuff, you'll see me use this more, but just take some notes. Don't worry about it too much. I know it looks kind of daunting, but honestly, as you start playing around with these and looking them up, they're quite easy to do. And you'll be surprised how fast you'll pick up HTML. Last thing, at 21 minutes, I want to cover the comments. So if you are writing down what I'm doing and you want to just make notes to yourself, I know I probably should have started with this, you can actually use HTML comments. Now HTML comments do not look like normal tags at all. They look quite different. So in order to do a comment, you do the less than sign, an exclamation point, and then two dashes. And then to close it, you do two dashes and then a greater than sign. And everything that's inside of this, I normally keep it spaced out, is a comment. Now the thing about comments is it won't show up on your design on your page, but if you look at the source code, if you look at the source code, you will be able to see a comment. It's highlighted in green here. So you don't want to really leave any comments that the user, you don't want the users to know. So you shouldn't like leave passwords or anything in these, because these will show up on your website, and users can just right click on your page and view your source and read your password. The other thing that's you can use, so if you want, as you can see this whole text just grayed out, you can also go down to the bottom here and you can close this comment by just doing the dash dash greater than, and then you can see you can actually comment out entire chunks of code. So if we view the page source, you can see that all this code is now commented out. It's still there, like I said, it's still in your it still is visible to the user, so don't put any private information in here, but it's something that you can use to comment some code out while you're not needing it. So that is comments. They're kind of handy. Like I said, you can just leave yourself little notes. So if you want to, you can even do like something here and say, use to make a line across the page, like that, and then you can just leave yourself little comments. Like I said, you can view them in the source code too. So there's the comment we just made. So these are useful if you want to just make little notes to yourself as you're working on these pages, to remind yourself of what it is and stuff like that. So that's the end of the second part. Tomorrow we will actually be building out our first page. You'll learn a few more tags tomorrow that are for laying out the page, because right now we're just doing our tags, but honestly this isn't proper. You're supposed to put a few tags before and a few tags at the end that we haven't messed with, and that's mainly because when we'd work on the page here, you wouldn't be able to see it. So they're not really exciting to learn at the beginning because they really don't do anything to your page. So tomorrow or the next video, we will start to look at how to design out a full page of HTML, and then we'll start getting into pages and menus and layouts and all that kind of fun stuff, and then soon enough we'll be into CSS. So thanks for watching, and if you need help, check out discord.ShyUniversity.com. It's our chat server, so you can jump on there. You can talk to other programmers, stuff like that. I'll be on there, so you can message me and ask me questions, or link me some code and ask me why it doesn't work. And then share this with your friends if you like it and everything like that. Be sure to subscribe. All right, thanks for watching my videos.